Hello again and welcome to the Feel Good Podcast. Today is a very special episode for me since we will be joined by the one and only, my co-founder and long-term friend Sebastian. Sebastian grew up in the fasting hotel of his parents, which they have run for 25 years in the Schwarzwald in the south of Germany. And I want to take the time today to talk to him about all the amazing health journeys and experiences he's seen from the people who visited the fasting hotel of his parents. And since I've also spent a year at the fasting hotel before Fastic, witnessing all these incredible moments of the people there, I really can't wait to let him share his stories with you guys and see what's actually happening there when it comes to the fasting journeys of the people. So grab something healthy to break your fast and let's dive into the world of Sebastian and his life at the fasting hotel of his parents. Hey Sebastian, you finally made it to the show.
Yeah, thanks Phil for having me today. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to talk with you today about fasting and me.
Same here. It's funny that I'm going to interview today, I find, because I'm going to hear more about your background, although I obviously know your background already, but it's important for me that other people can also hear about your background, especially the moments you had with your personal life, but also in the fasting hotel. Looking back, we know each other now over 8 years. Lived in one apartment together, or several apartments together actually, went through thick and thin and became an unbreakable team. So yeah, I'm really happy to be doing this today with you and starting off. So yeah, it would be really great to tell the people a bit more about yourself. So feel free to just say a few things about your life in general and obviously growing up in the fasting hotel.
Yeah, cool. So obviously I'm Sebastian. I'm now 27 years old. And I can't hide that I'm passionate about nutrition, about sport, obviously about fasting. As you already said, I grew up in a fasting hotel, the fasting hotel of my parents, that is located in the Black Forest in Germany. I'm sure that a lot of guys heard of that one. And I guess a fasting hotel is a very special place to grow up with. I guess I spent most of my time as a child in the fasting hotel with the guests we had for several weeks. And I made a lot of experiences there. I worked there with my parents. I was then responsible sometimes as a child to also bring them the fasting soup and stuff. So really I was part of this hotel with my siblings. And when I was 19, I founded my first business. As part of the fasting hotel, we created an e-commerce business, which was focused on healthy nutrition and alternative sugars and stuff. This is also the time when you joined then later. And after working on this one for 5 years, we finally then sold this business and started with Fastic. And now we are here.
Sounds good. Yeah, remember the days, and definitely nice to be on the same journey together. So maybe to dive in a bit deeper and to be a bit more specific for the people who don't know, because I'm sure not everyone is familiar what a fasting hotel is, right? Can you be a bit more detailed and exact on what a fasting hotel is?
Yeah, for sure. I thought this question will come. And I think this is a question like a lot of people already ask me. Let me just dive into it a bit deeper so everyone gets an understanding of what this exactly means. So you can imagine it actually like a usual hotel, maybe a bit more like a wellness hotel, but people come to us. They don't get any food. They just get water and soup, and they pay a lot of money for this. No, I'm joking. So, the fasting hotel is pretty much a place where you get guidance for how to practice long-term fasting. So people come to us, they fast for 7 to 14 to 21 days. So, we had people staying with us for 3 weeks. And you get guidance. You get like a lot of different courses. My parents were there to be there for the people. You meet also other people. You start with them on the same day. The day was Sunday, and then you go through this whole journey with other people together. And it's just a place where you can relax. You can find also time for yourself. There are no distractions like TVs or anything else. Like it's really just a place to calm down, to shut up from, or to shut yourself up from other distracting things. and to heal your body, heal your mind, and heal your soul.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. Just witnessing the magical place your parents have, obviously, as well in the Schwarzwald in the south of Germany. I think it's just so good. And you mentioned it, like, it's not just about losing weight, what so many people think about fasting, right? It's obviously about balancing body, mind, and soul. This is so important. Also what your parents teach and what I've also witnessed being there. So maybe just to go in a bit more into the actual fasting week as such, like, how can people imagine a fasting week for a guest that comes to the fasting hotel? Can you run us through that, please?
Yeah, it's a great question. I remember that back then. I was also sometimes responsible for picking up the phone, and a lot of people, that was their first question: how does actually fasting week looks like? And as a little boy, I was already able to walk them actually through a fasting week when my parents hadn't have not had the time to pick up the phone, for example, because they were busy like supporting the other guests. So yeah, of course, I can run you through a usual fasting week, and as I already said, like every week starts on Sunday. This is where like all the guests from this specific week actually meet for the first time, and then you actually get introduced into everything which is important for that week. You will be introduced to the agenda. I have to say that actually every day looks pretty much kind of the same. It's important to have like kind of a strict routine to go through. So it's not that you have nothing to do while you fast. It's actually the opposite. There are a lot of different activities you have to follow. And after arriving, as I said, like introducing everyone to each other, and then the week starts by enjoying one glass of Globus salt. I think that's how you call it in English. It's to actually clean out your body, cleaning your colon, and then the body's ready to actually get into the fast. And yeah, then the magic starts. So every day, then actually the next day, and this happens all the time, like every day within the week, all the participants, they meet in the morning to have kind of a check-in. My parents then actually measured their pressure, for example, a few different health KPIs. We asked them a few questions. Everyone actually rates how they feel on a scale from 1 to 10. If you have a 10, we had a little bell. Everyone was able to ring. And we had a lot of people who actually felt during the fast very, very good. So it's not that you always feel weak and don't have energy. It's actually often the opposite. So you have a lot of energy, and you actually look forward to the day. And yeah, after this, one important part of fasting is walking or hiking. This happens, of course, in the Black Forest in nature, because it's a beautiful place there. And that happens for 1 to 2 hours. That depends on like how much highs are there in between. And one thing, movement is, of course, very important for the body during fasting. And this is because our body circulation need to be kept going. This is very important to also avoid, for example, losing muscle during the fast. And walking and movement is an important part of the day. Following up on that one, our guests, they get a fresh pressed juice after this walk that contained around like 1 to 200 calories. This is there to keep the body actually burning a bit more calories than, for example, on a water fast. Also, of course, that supports the body with a bit of vitamins to actually store them again in the cells. And I guess that is the highlight for everyone in the day, enjoying this fresh pressed juice with everyone else together. So at least it was for me in my fast. And after this, our guests actually mostly go back to their rooms because, of course, after you had that walk, you're a bit exhausted. And you then do a liver wrap. I think that's how you call it in English. And you just lay down in your bed. You have something warm on your liver, a wet towel, and you wrap yourself into this. and then you actually support the liver to detox and just to practice what the liver is doing. And yeah, this is, I guess, like the first part of the day. And after this, everyone have a bit of free time, or some of them actually use the time to do the enema, I guess you call it in English. It's like the colon cleaning, which is a very important part of fasting. This is like how you
Enema, yes,
yeah,
yes.
this is how you support your body to actually also detox. Your body is able to detox in two ways: over your colon, it's part of your skin, or over your skin. To detox over your skin, you have to brush your skin. This is one important part of the day, either in the morning or in the afternoon. That's what you can choose from. But going back to the day, so we are already actually entering the evening. Everyone is coming back into the group. They have a few conversations about how the day was, how they felt, and all together they then enjoy a vegetable broth. So without any vegetables, it's just of course, like hydration is important. The salts, the minerals are important during the fast. And then actually the day is already gone. Sometimes my parents, they gave some talks about some overall health topics, which our guests actually then could take into their everyday life after the fasting week. But this is mostly it, actually.
That sounds incredible. Thank you for explaining. And of course, for the people who still have some questions, please comment down below, since it's obviously a big topic. But I know that many people actually come back, right, to the fasting hotel,
Yeah,
since they have
definitely.
such a great experience, thanks to your parents, and of course, since to the positive effects fasting has on their body and obviously mind and soul. So some people, or not even some, actually quite a few, actually come back every year, what I found just amazing. And obviously the fasting hotel offers different kinds of fasting as well. So what different types of fasting does the fasting hotel of your parents offer?
Well, at my parents' hotel, you can actually practice two kinds of fasting. So the first one, I'm sure a lot of people already heard about. It's called the Buchinger fasting. That was invented by Otto Buchinger back in the early 1990s and 19s. And this is one fasting practice, or one way to practice fasting, where you also have this fresh pressed juice in the afternoon. This is, I guess, the difference to, for example, water fasting, and also the vegetable broth in the evening. So you practice this a bit different. And additionally to that one, our guests could also practice alkaline fasting in our hotel. This is a different kind of fasting where you actually also still eat something, but the amount of calories are limited. And also the food is kind of special because it's just like alkaline food. So you have a lot of vegetables, some fruits, so just the kind of food which is alkaline, and this is how you also can then support your body and actually detoxing.
Yeah, it has definitely also got so many benefits, especially the alkaline fasting. I think is such a great way to boost your health too. I'm sure we will maybe even get an expert on the Feel Good podcast in future to go into that, because I think it's such a topic was actually worth talking about more in detail. But what I would like to know from you as well, because I find it really interesting, just experiencing all this around you, this obviously whilst growing up shaped you in an environment, like in understanding nutrition and health from a probably different perspective from most other children, including myself, since being around these amazing stories in general. So yeah, how did it shape you growing up understanding nutrition and health?
Well, man, I think it's a very special experience to grow up in a fasting hotel. You also know my parents, so they're kind of special people, I would say. Sometimes kind of health gurus, so they know a lot about like healthy nutrition, um, and also sometimes practice some things which are not known to everybody, such as fasting, for example, or liver cleaning or stuff like this. Like a lot of different special topics for me as a child. Um, I think that now, reflecting back on it, I'm seeing health as a holistic topic. So it's not something you can see things from apart, like your body is one thing, your mind is one thing, your soul is one thing. It's actually all connected together. And I guess this is what changed my understanding of health and nutrition, and that it is so important to actually take care of those pillars individually, and to see them not, yeah, as I said, like apart from each other.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. I mean, holistic health is definitely the way to go from my view as well. Like, not just seeing just body as its own, but also having a connected body, mind, and soul. I definitely agree with that. And you mentioned that I know your parents. Yes, of course I do. And I wanted to ask you anyway, like how it was, especially as a child, like being raised by parents who are health gurus. Like how was that like?
Oh man, what can I say? I think as a child, I wasn't always very happy about it, especially because you have to imagine at school, everyone had like very nice lunch boxes with, yeah, you can imagine that you know how they look like sometimes, with some sweets, some white bread and stuff, like, and when I unpacked my lunch every day, I was like, man, really? So it was like whole grain bread. It was no sweets, just like some apple slices and some not really well tasting vitamin juices and stuff. So yeah, as a child, I wasn't always happy. It happened that at one point I even went into kind of a rebellion because I wasn't happy about like all those vegetables anymore, and I didn't quite understand why this is so important. So yeah, I had a time where I didn't really follow what my parents told me about living healthy, and that this is an important part of life. So yeah, I got pretty chubby at one point because I was living actually from iced tea. What else did I eat? Chips and chocolate. I guess that was mainly my meal every day. My parents, they did a good job. They just let me do it. They said, okay, you have to experience it by yourself, and that definitely taught me pretty fast how my body reacted to all those different things. I mean, pictures of me back then, and yeah, this it was a challenge sometimes, but now, of course, I'm appreciating it extremely because living healthy isn't something I have to take care of. It's just something normal, to just eat rich meals, to take care of like what do I put into my body, what is the feel which drives me every day. And yeah, I think looking on it now, I'm very happy about how they've done it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I guess we've all been at a rebellious stage as a child. I definitely have. Probably one of the most rebellious kids out there back then. But I think it's very good, the approach of your parents, having, of course, all the knowledge they have, but still letting you experience your own way and doing your own thing. And obviously proves them right? Since you came back to actually seeing this is not doing your body any good and following their path, I would actually say. I remember the first time we met and you told me about the fasting hotel. And then when I actually met your parents, like in general, I just really have to say they're just such incredible people and really good coaches in how they approach the guests and really guide them individually on their health journey through fasting. So I really have not just respect for them and obviously so thankful for the path they went, since it also inspired me and of course you as a son, but also living there and living with you. Just a lot of love for your parents, since yeah, they're just amazing people. But obviously it would be incredible to know a bit more about your parents in the sense of what roles do they have in the fasting hotel. I'm sure you can also let us know so we can so the audience can have a better understanding how that actually works between your mom and your dad, how they play the ball to each other, how they go about in the fasting hotel, because I find it's just so incredible and they're such an awesome team.
Yeah, Phil, thank you for the kind words about my parents. I love them. They do a very good job. I guess I know nobody who's so passionate about what they are doing every day. So you have to imagine, I grew up like 27 now. Since 25 years, they're running this hotel. So actually, all my life, they started it together. They went into this journey together, and since then, they actually, give their life to help other people, and that what makes me as a son very proud. Because I've seen how much love, how much effort they've put into this hotel, and then into, of course, like it's a work with people, right? You work with people every day, every week, different people from all over the world. So far, I guess we had like 20,000, 25,000 people in the hotel from the US, from Germany, from Switzerland, from Netherlands, like all over the world. The people came to visit our hotel, and they also have been one of the very first ones in Germany. So yeah, they've definitely done a good job. But coming back to your question, what are their roles? As I already said, like my parents act as guides, as fasting guides, as fasting supervisors, you could also say. And they are there for, of course, telling the people how to actually go through this week of fasting, if it is a week, or like also people who decided to stay for a longer time with us, to guide them through it, to support them when they maybe don't feel well. Fasting is a holistic journey. It's not just you don't eat something. It's also that it's a highly emotional journey. So they had to be there for some people to support them in some emotional experiences. I guess that my parents don't see the guests just as guests. I think a lot of people became friends. As you mentioned before, we had people, they visited us like 10, 15, 20 times. They always came back. At one point, we even do not had so many new people because we always were actually fully booked from people who visited us already. And yeah, this is actually like what my parents are doing every day, trying to support people on their health journey, specifically with fasting.
That's nice. That's nice. And yeah, shout out and credits to them. We will definitely also blend in the webpage of the fasting hotel, and then you guys can check for yourselves. And like I said before, if there are any questions in general or also questions to Sebastian, please comment down below, and then we can dive in deeper. But we would obviously also like to spend or take some time today to hear about your personal experience with fasting. Of course, having role models and own fasting coaches firsthand at home. You also started fasting, right? And trying it for yourself early on. So it would be great to know a bit about how that went for you. Like maybe we could start off. What was the longest fast you've ever did?
Ooh, that's a good question. In general, I guess I fasted now between maybe 15 and 20 times or something. I started pretty early then. The longest fast happened after I became a chubby boy. So I had a lot of stored energy on my body, and I realized that I didn't appear so well to the girls anymore. So I had to do something about it. So I went into the fast. I fasted for almost 20 days. It was around 18 days. That was a pretty long time. It was an amazing experience. Not that I just looked completely differently after, of course, because I did lose a lot of weight. But I also felt differently because I was always experiencing people fasting, but I've never done it by myself. So I was really like curious about this experience. I wanted to feel it by myself. And then I did it, and it definitely changed my life. Also, I can say it like this because I was differently after this. I started doing sports. I became very conscious about what I eat every day. So things have changed after this one.
Yeah, I can believe that, and would be interesting to. Because you touched on it just slightly, but to go in a bit deeper, like the benefits you experienced obviously next to losing weight, since that is just always the common topic we or a lot of people talk about in general. But I would like to dive in. What are the benefits in general you experienced, since they've obviously been so many, especially with fasting, and I assume you had too, right? And it doesn't have to be your first fast, like any fast in general, since you obviously do it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Like, as I already mentioned, I'm doing it very regularly. That means actually every year I'm doing it once or twice in the last years, actually just once, because of time reasons. But I'm going back to it every now and then. And I mean, every fast is different. I can't say that like one fast was exactly the same as the other one. It always depends on your conditions. How do you feel? How's your body composition? How healthy are you at this moment? What do you have to detox? Like, what is your state of mind? There's so many different variations that actually influences the fast. But talking about my experiences, I mean, I always want to come back to that feeling I have after the fast. And also for me, it is a lot about like control over my life. I think this gives me definitely the feeling that I'm in control, and that, yeah, I sometimes then get the feeling I need to get back into the fast. I need to feel this discipline to stay in the fast for 5, 6, 7, 10 days. Um, and for me, it is mostly that, to be honest. It's like the feeling I have after. I feel like a reborn person. I I get rid of a lot of like old stuff, um, in a lot of different ways. Not just that, like, of course, your body will be cleaned and that feels different by itself, but also the time after. It's just, I can't even describe it in words, because it's such a special experience, I would say.
Yeah, I can um, I can just nod my head and agree with that. And I also think that every fast, as you said, is different. I remember my last fast, what I had 2 months ago, was totally different than my fast before, because I didn't have hunger cravings that much. So it was maybe first 1 or 2 days, maybe on day 3, but especially emotional, as you said as well before. It's obviously, it can be an emotional ride too, because you cleanse out not just your body but also mind and soul too. And I had so much stress in my private life and at work, and it just, especially after the fast, what it did to me, and I could keep this feeling, just feeling rejuvenated, feeling fresh and sharp in the mind as well, and just at ease with myself. That was just so beneficial. And yeah, I actually remember that you were the first person who actually inspired me to do my first 7-day water fast back then. And that was really eye-opening for me too, especially since I was struggling from my car accident. I had 3 shoulder operations, and now I try to do it once per year, since it just has such an incredible positive effect on me, my body, my mind, and my soul. And I can just fully relate with you with that feeling. It's hard to describe. People have to witness it, right? And just actually experience it for themselves, because it's just something very unique and very special. And I'm sure that some people obviously also consider doing a long-term fast, but have a lot of questions. So maybe you've got some advice for someone who actually wants to try an extended fast for the first time.
Yeah, well, I mean, just one thing, because you mentioned being hungry. I always find this aspect of fasting very interesting, because I experienced that this is always about like your mindset. And for example, my last fast, I've done it like 1.5 months ago. I've not experienced a single feeling of hunger. I mean, of course, I've done it multiple times now. Um, but I think it's always about like how do you go into the fast? What do you think about it? And in my opinion, hunger is actually not like the hardest thing to go through. I think for some people, even the emotional journey of fasting is the hardest thing to go through sometimes. Of course, like you can have a headache and something, and some symptoms you might have, or you went into the fast with, could become a bit more stronger in the very first days. I can say that for my last fast, I had an issue with my shoulder, and while I was fasting, I felt this became stronger, even though I didn't make any like sport exercises or something. But I felt my body was like working on it and fixing it, and now it feels much better after a couple of weeks after the fast, which is incredible. But yeah, going back to your question, what is an advice for people who would like to try it for the first time? I mean, I would say that the very first fast, it will make sense to do it with someone else together because it is a special experience. It can be very straightforward without any issues in between. You can feel energized, no feelings of your body with pain or something else. But still, I think it makes sense to do it with someone who done it before and know how it works, or with someone who's really experienced, for example, a fasting guide. You can do it at my parents' hotel if you want, for sure. Um, or you can do it in another hotel. You can do it online, for example. There, of course, are like a lot of courses. Um, but yeah, for some people, as I said, like exercise is an important part, like going on a walk, going on a hike, on a light hike is something you have to do. And I think it's not the best idea to do this by yourself or to do this on your own, because it always can happen that you, for example, you pass out. That can happen if you're very low on your blood sugar and you do walking and exercising and stuff like this. So this is definitely something to take care of, and to be in the right mindset. I think that's important to yeah, experience the fast in a way that you can also enjoy it, because to do it, I don't know what that word is in English. Um, but if you don't want to do it, then I guess it's not a good idea to go into the fast because it will be not a nice journey and you will not enjoy it. But if you're really in the mindset of, I want to experience this, I want to do this for myself, then I guess you will not get into any trouble.
Yeah, good advice. I think that the mindset and the approach towards it is key. I couldn't agree more. And of course, if you've got someone who can do it with you and you can support each other, keep yourself accountable, but also, yeah, just be there for one another, it makes a lot of sense. Also, other ways could be in actually starting it a bit more light through, for example, intermittent fasting could be a way to get a first feel for it, or even just start with a day or two of fasting just to have a slow approach.
Yeah, definitely.
Since, yeah, for some people, it's maybe not be possible to visit a hotel, or they just want to have a slight approach. But otherwise, I think your advice definitely makes a lot of sense. And just what I also would like to say for everyone listening is just important to also get advice if you're doing it the first time from, as Sebastian said as well, like courses or even online from fasting supervisors, fasting coaches, or even talk to your doctor, since that is crucial to make the fasting week a success for anyone who just wants to start out. So here again, just comment down below and we'll definitely be sure to answer the questions, but also to recommend, for example, coaches near you, wherever you are. And yeah, I have said at the beginning how incredible the stories are from the guests visiting the fasting hotel, and this is definitely something, or even one of the highlights today, what I really witnessed myself, found so mind-blowing at the fasting hotel when I was there. And yeah, seeing these special moments of other people after fasting a week with my own eyes definitely was life-changing for me, because I just saw the power of fasting, what it does to people, and going back to the roots, actually what our body is also designed for, right? Society has moved on, but our bodies are still the same. We're still used to having fasting as part of our lifestyle in general when we sleep, just that we now snack throughout the day, what is not always just positive, guys. So yeah, big topic for another day. But yeah, I would love to, like I said, dive in deeper into the stories of the guests at the fasting hotel. So there've obviously been countless stories, and yeah, what health journeys from the fasting hotel have inspired you the most, Sebastian?
Well, this is a good question. As we said, like we had so many people in our hotel, and we actually had people every week who had to report something which changed in their life, in their feelings. Also reported from recent fasts. We had people who wrote us like letters about what happened after the fast and how they felt, how it changed their life. That was amazing to see. That inspired me the most, to see like so many different things happening just because of people avoid food for a couple of days. And that also, yeah, changed my perspective of how our body is actually capable of repairing itself if we give him the chance to fast. Also, of course, like one part of intermittent fasting, to give your body some time to rest, to just do its thing, which is, yeah, it's supposed to do. But talking about the experiences, let me think what inspired me the most. Well, one story which comes to my mind, which was very inspiring, and it was from a woman, and she came to us, and she had like really, really bad skin issues. So she was suffering from it. She had it on her hands, but she also had it on some other places on her body. It was very itchy. It was painful. It was wet, especially in summer. There was like it really decreased her quality of life. She told us that she have done so many things, really like also scorpion, how to say that, gift, uh, like the sacred of scorpions,
Poison.
yeah, poison things, like really crazy things. She tried everything with usual medicine, school medicine, but nothing helped. And kind of a last try was actually to go on a fast, which a friend of her told her to try. And she's done one week of fasting, and within the week, actually, there was not much sign of anything changed or got better. But after 6 months, she came back to us. She booked another week of fasting, and she came back and she showed us her hands, and everything was gone. And then she actually told us the story that after she came back from the week of fasting, she realized every week that it got better and better and better, and that her body had the time to do whatever, but he did it. And after just one week of fasting, she got rid of something she suffered from for years. That was incredible. And we had like a lot of people who suffered from skin issues, and fasting really did a very good thing for them. And yeah, repaired it and brought it back to where it was before. Let me think of another one. If you want me to tell one more.
Yes, please, definitely. I could listen to those all day. Those are the best stories.
What else? What else do we have in the treasure chest? Um, there was a man, and he suffered from very bad headache. Like he had migraine, I guess you call it, migraine, and yeah, as I said, like
Migraine, yes.
yeah, he suffered from it a lot. He took pain pills like Smarties. He just popped them, he said, and he tried a lot of different things. And when he came to us, there was also something, because he then actually started to become resistant against those painkillers. So he wasn't able to work anymore and stuff. And fasting was, yeah, also one of his tries to actually like do something against it. And he also did just one week of fasting, and during the week it already got better. And in the end of the fast, he didn't have to take the pain pill killers anymore. And yeah, he also visited us then a lot of times after, and he got his headaches under control just by fasting. He then started to practice 5-2 fasting, so fasting for 2 days in a week. And that was his way to actually deal with his pain, and he got to the point where he was able to manage it. He didn't have to take the pills anymore, which he had to actually live from already. And that was also an incredible thing.
That's just unbelievable. And the most crazy thing to me is that these are two obviously wonderful stories, but they're one of so many, right? This is not like this is.
I could tell you all day long success stories from the hotel. Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, it's just. I think just to it's this is also worth actually inviting your parents to talk about as well, since they've obviously witnessed everything also firsthand, and give them the yeah, the moment to share these stories, and maybe even actually inviting one or two guests from the Fasting Hotel to the Feel Good podcast. That would also be incredible. Maybe we can look into that. And yeah, if you guys are interested, leave a comment and let us know. Sebastian, like the longest time, this is one of the question we received from the community as well, from the Fastic family, asking what is the longest someone actually did do a fast. What was the longest in the Fasting Hotel somebody actually fasted for?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like usual fasting, long-term fast you do for between 5 to 10 to 14 days. This is like I would say the average amount of fasting days someone practice. Also in our hotel, we didn't have so many people who stayed for 3 weeks. That was an exceptional case. Once we had a woman, she fasted for other reasons. She fasted for 6 weeks. That was a pretty long time. She also did it in our hotel, but that's an exceptional case. For sure, you sometimes it depends also on like the thing you try to get rid of. If you, for example, try to do there are a lot of studies around like cancer fast and stuff, which can be tried, or also people who suffer from atrosis, for example, they do longer time fast to actually yeah, fight against the inflation in their bodies. But yeah, as I said, like 6 weeks, that was the most time. But you do this in special cases. Healthy fasting for normal reasons, if you're a healthy person, I would recommend it to do it once or twice a year for 5 to 10 days. I think that's totally enough.
Okay, yeah, that's good point. Another question we got as well was, what are the most common challenges people are facing when they do come to the Fasting Hotel?
I mean, some do it for the feeling, just to feel cleaned after they've done the fast. Stress, that was definitely also one of the top reasons to go into the fast. We had like a lot of managers in front of a burnout who then actually went into the fast to try to give their body some time to do its thing. And we had overweight people, of course, but overweight wasn't the number one reason for people to go into the fast. Of course, we had some. We had also people who try to, who have been on a journey to lose like 100 kilo, because they've been really overweight, and fasting was one part of this journey. It wasn't like that they have lost the 100 kilo just with fasting. Um, we had people with high blood pressure. That was definitely one common reason. Skin issues. A lot of people came with this. What else do we have? Inflation, like arthritis, for example. There was one success story of a woman that was crazy. Um, she came to us when she was already healed. She didn't had any problems anymore, but she told us the story of her and her fasting journey, and she was suffering from arthritis, like arthrosis, sorry, very badly, and she suffered for it for years. She also popped painkillers like Tic Tacs, and she couldn't walk anymore. She was in the wheelchair, and one day, she then she told us that she was thinking about to end her life because of the pain she had to go through every day. And yeah, that was really a moving story. But she then said she went into a fasting hotel. It was the Buchinger Clinic. Um, and she went into a fast of, I guess it was about like 4 weeks or something. She managed to get off the wheelchair. She managed to get off the pain from the arthrosis. And yeah, it changed her life completely. It brought back her joy of life just because she didn't eat for a couple of weeks, which I found incredible. And yeah, we had a lot of people who suffered from arthrosis in their hands, in their feet, in their knees. And just by fasting, a lot of people had been able to reverse this, to get rid of pain. They could walk again and stuff like this. Like, yeah, incredible.
Unbelievable. And just yeah, but to this day, when I look back as well on the journey we are on, and then just actually thinking about all the thank you letters your parents have received, the smiles and the glowing faces we have witnessed in the fasting hotel when we see the guests when they leave after staying at the fasting hotel, was next to obviously this lovely community what was built, just actually being the starting point of founding Fastic, right, and really spreading the word of healthy fasting into the world. So I'm just so thankful for your parents, and so grateful that they have actually started this journey, and we can carry on a bit, at least in a digital form, with intermittent fasting and spread the word for it, because it's just a blessing, and it's just such a wonderful alternative to getting your body to actually repair itself and going back to the roots, like I said before, and you've mentioned now in so many stories. So yeah, it was lovely to have you here, Sebastian. It
was amazing to be here.
Big thank you to you for sharing everything and giving us more insights into it. I know quite a bit of the things you said, obviously, since we know each other for such a long time, but always there are a few more infos I get out of it when you talk, so it's always so inspiring for me too. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. So thank you so much for taking part today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to talk to you the next time.
Perfect. And yeah, like I said, I can really genuinely say these stories never get old, and I really love working with you on Fastic, since you also want to positively impact people's well-being and bring your heritage of growing up in a fasting hotel to the world. And for everyone listening, like I said before, comment if you have questions, because I know it is a big topic. And if you are interested in doing a longer fast for the first time, so then please make sure that you obviously consult with a fasting coach. It can also be a doctor, so you will get the right information for yourself. And yeah, I really can not stress enough that it's definitely worth it, but it needs the right preparation and the right knowledge. So as Sebastian also mentioned, maybe do it with a friend when you do get the right information, or start off with intermittent fasting. You can also use Fastic, our app, to actually try it out and just take it with a slow approach. And then, like I said before, if you have more questions to it, we're happy to guide you. So yes, I truly enjoyed this episode with my friend and co-founder Sebastian, and I hope you guys did too. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the week, a lot of joy, and hope that this episode made you feel good. Love.